Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we can clearly tell what we're discussing because once again, I've got it on the screen. Get out of here. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Camera's not looking very full and I'm looking pretty washed out. And this is saying something come from the world's palest man, but it'll do. It'll do. How's things, babe?
Yeah,
You,
great.
you seem to be pretty active on social media this morning.
Oh yeah, I mean the promotion for the scoop it's through the roof to this morning. Got to keep that promotion going up. But no, I'm in a very happy mood this morning.
And do tell, babe. Do tell.
Well, in ranks of greatest life moments, Kevin De Bruyne scoring at Chelsea away. Wedding day, obviously, that's right up there. But City going to the court of arbitration and coming away unscathed, still playing in Europe next year with only a £10 million fine. This ranks up there. Also, winding up Liverpool fans who've just got the biggest bee in their fucking bonnet ever. is to say we're a tiny club. They seem to be coming out the woodwork quite a lot against us. So that speaks absolute volumes.
It's funny. It's funny. I mean, I would have loved City to have failed in the arbitration sport. I was going to fine, but also not that ass. But it's funny watching like you mentioned. I've seen quite a few Liverpool fans getting angry about it, and like I was saying to Bib before we went live, you've just won the league, which is harder to do than winning the Champions League. Why are you even bothering? You should just be like, yeah, whatever. Just won the league, mate. Not asked, whatever. Yeah, you win court cases, we win titles. But no, it's like no. Oh, okay.
They're trying to go for the treble, aren't they? So, unlucky. Fucking hell, City in Europe again next year. I absolutely love it.
See, like I said to Babe, I'm only not happy. I'm only like relaxed about this because United now are in control of their own destiny. If we win tonight and then just win the rest of our games, we finish third. Job's a good one. Yeah. I mean, obviously that's asking us to win the rest of our games, but still, our destiny is in our hands. Yeah. But anyway, everyone, welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Clubs Football Talk out of the way. My name is Graham Day, and this is wearing City Blue. It's not really City Blue, but still, is the man that we call.
Should have put my City top on.
Sorry, I'll turn the
Didn't think
camera
about
off.
that, did I?
You go get it. You go. Cheers. It's fine. Job's good. You know what? Coffee burps. Excuse me 1 second. And that's out of the way. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Clubs. As mentioned, my name is Graham. This is Bib, and we together are Ice Cream Uploads. And in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is The Scoop. It's your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. And some people may even say this is the UK's #1 video games podcast. That's me. But still, I'm whispering. I don't even know if you can hear that through the RTX mic. I go, yeah, that's me. Sometimes RTX makes it just goes like, there you go. But anyway, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories of the... Rewind. We're going to give you your thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. And we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions in return. Please feel free to get involved in the chat. Just say good morning. Just say hello. Whatever you want to do, feel free to get involved in the chat right now, live at 10 a.m. on Twitch. And it's important that you do because we turn this into a podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play, plus a YouTube video. Anyone watching and listening on demand gets the ability to, listen on demand, but they don't get the ability to use their voice in the chat, like Sammy J87 has just done this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is that Samantha or is that someone else?
That's not mine. Hers is Mrs. Bibby.
Oh, I thought that was like Mrs. Bibby coming in to watch Bibby continue with the blue the blue splurge. Good morning, Sammy J. How are you doing? Not Mrs. Bibby for the rest of the chat. Hi. Good morning. But other than that, I'm getting trashed in a clubhouse eating what was it? Cheese pie, babe. What did you get?
Oh, cheese onion pie on Saturday. Yeah, it was great. Oh, yes, what I'm getting up to. What I got up to.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. So literally just on Friday went up to the clubhouse for Fish and Chips Friday, Chippy Friday up at the clubhouse.
Chippy tea.
Yeah, Chippy tea. And then Saturday played golf, went back up to the clubhouse, and then spent this weekend. Literally just been more shopping for stuff for the house because it's 7 days now. A week today is the day that I get my keys for the new house. So it's just my bedroom at the moment, I can't fucking move in. You can't quite. I don't think you can see it actually through that camera because I'm in the way of the rest of the room. But behind me is just boxes and boxes of shit that we've got in the room that we obviously need to move out. Downstairs, the front room, again, full of shit. So we just keep on buying more and more stuff to put into the new gaff. So this week after we finish the scoop and whatever it is, and Masters of the League, it's literally just taking stuff out of my wardrobes, getting rid of shit, taking stuff to the tip. It's just a long, drawn-out affair before we get in next Monday, which I'm super excited about.
That's actually not true. Bibby just is one of those people that you see on those like hoarders programs.
Life of grime.
By the time we get to Thursday, Bibby's just going to be sat there in like a wooden box corridor, and you won't be able to see anything going there behind him. But anyway, good morning, Grazity. Good morning, Sam.
What did you get up
to? Me, it was Chloe's birthday, so we just had a nice chilled out Saturday. Had pancakes. No, not pancakes. French toast and bacon on Saturday, but like Tesco do like a maple bacon kind of thing. So we had that with French toast, shitloads of maple syrup fit. Then we had I can't remember what we ate then, but then later on in the day we had takeaway. So we had curries, chicken tikka masala, lamb rogan josh, some buttered chicken, a keema naan, which I'm fairly new to keema naans, only because I'm a cheapskate and I think, why am I buying a posh naan bread when I could just get a normal one? Anyway, keema naan bread with basically doner meat in the middle of it. Fuck yeah!
Oh, yeah.
It's like a ready-made doner sandwich that you dip into your curry. Yes, get it. So ate myself massive on Saturday. Yesterday, just chilled out post birthday day and leftover curry yesterday. So that's pretty much my weekend. Got fatter. Jobs are good. So all the work I did this week, I had 2 different exercises that were over 900 calories burned. I was dying. Today, I probably had 2 different meals that were over 900 calories gained. And I was dying. So there you go. That's a week for me. Sammy J says Samuel officially, but people who call me that are usually angry with me. Samuel! Yeah. So it's like when you get the parents thing where you say your full name. Graham Andrew Day. It's like, yes!
Class.
Oh, David just said the exact same thing. That's how it was as a kid. You could tell you were trouble when you had your full name, including middle name and surname, if you had them. Yeah. Baby, I'm a hoarder. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay. Anyway, let's jump into some news. We've got quite a bit of news. Well, we only have 3 articles to go through, but obviously Ubisoft Forward. We decided to not cover that live last night because we were both, I'm not going to say absolutely sloshed and completely drunk and stuff like that, but we were absolutely sloshed and completely. No, we weren't really. Just nice chilled out Sunday. So we got to watch Ubisoft Forward, and we're going to obviously cover that today. We have a couple of extra bits of news on that, but the majority of the show today we'll be looking at what came out of Ubisoft Forward. But we'll jump into it, go through that because we do have Masters of the League. And obviously, Bibby just mentioned he will be moving house next week. So just a reminder that the scoop will take place all week this week, as will Masters of the League. But then we will have a hiatus with our scheduled content. So for a couple of weeks, we won't have any episodes of the scoop. We won't have the Master League. Although we may do a live stream on the Thursday next week for the Xbox conference. But it won't be a 10 a.m. scoop. So none of the regular scheduling for the next 2 weeks from next week. So this week is fine, fill your boots. Next week, we will have a little bit of a hiatus and then come back after that when we can see Bibby in his new... Basically, Bibby is Ninja. So he's going to go off and then come back in some big feck off like streaming suite. So yeah, that's what
I wish.
Okay, let's jump into the news. I haven't actually read through this article, although no, it's a fairly long one. That's what she said. But we will pick it off as we go. I think it's segmented into different sections, so we should be able to look at things and stop and break out and then jump back into it. But we'll figure it out as we go together. This is good. Is this showing the new Xbox? Says Graz. No, this is showing.
Hey, Asim, you are banned from coming in here today.
Asim,
did you see his shit? He made a very poor joke on Twitter.
This is weird.
Like a proper dad joke, and I told him he was banned today.
It's like there must be like a 10-15 second delay or something between me and Bib because Bib's mouth isn't in sync with his face, and there's like a huge delay. Let's
right. One sec. I'll jump out.
I'll read.
Hello!
Say shoes.
Shoes.
There we go. That's good. All good. We're back. We're back. So what are we saying about Sim?
Yeah, Asim made a very poor dad joke today, so I told him he was banned from coming into the chat.
Okay. Goes to Twitter. Searches for at Tassim Anvia.
Industrialika.
Oh dear, that is amazing. That is absolutely incredible. So Bibby, as we've been mentioning already, has been sat there with fishing rod in hand, boiling the piss of football Twitter because City have had their CAS case thrown out. And obviously Bibby's posted a picture of is it Khaldoon? Is that his name? Sheikh Khaldoon?
Yeah.
So Bibby's posted pictures of Sheikh Khaldoon, changed his name, changed his profile pic to Sheikh Khaldoon. Sims responded with, "You could just say he had to shake the money tree." So yeah, I'm proud of that one too, Asim.
You two though, you're like two peas in a pod. I can't get rid of you. If I go you in my ear, it's Asim on Twitter, and there's just no escape. It's like one of Scooby Doo sketches. I'm running down the corridor. It's just Graham Asim, Graham Asim, Graham Asim, Graham Asim.
What a corridor that is! What a corridor that is! Anyway, speaking of corridors, let's jump into this one. A corridor full of Ubisoft news. Hey, cheesy tangent. Ubisoft Forward, our roundup of all the news. This is PC Games Ends roundup, so a little bit different from the usual kind of sources, but it's good to mix it up a bit. The article said announcements on all Ubisoft's biggest titles are here, so let's break down everything you need to know. In response to Grazit's question, no, this isn't showing anything on the new Xbox specifically. This is Ubisoft's new titles. So the likes of Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Legion, Far Cry 6, and so on. But Riley says, "Sup lads, finally I'm awake in time for a scoop. And Bibby, the ban has been lifted. Get fucking
Yeah. What a day.
Chappers, good morning as well. Bibby, I'm seeing a lot of this emote actually in the chat, and it seems to me that it has some sort of audio cue. I mean, could you explain what that emote sounds like?
Yes, in layman's terms, when this certain emoji arrives on the screen, you go "Hello," just to give you an
Yeah.
idea of greetings when people arrive into the chat.
Well. Hello. Is that it? Did I nail it? Is that what it goes?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, nailed it. Nailed it. Let's jump into the article. Ubisoft Forward has come and gone. Actually, well, Quant hasn't gone because they confirmed that there will be another one. And with it, a whole load of information on the publisher's lineup of upcoming PC games. It's actually more than PC, but obviously the source of the article. So even though this does say a lot of PC, there is more console stuff as well. So just to take that bit with a pinch. Anyway, even with E3 gone, the summer game announcement schedule is deep in progress, and today should bring us plenty of details ahead of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla release date, the Far Cry 6 release date, and the Watch Dogs Legion release date. Aside from the games, it's impossible to ignore what's been going on with Ubisoft more broadly right now in the wake of unrest from within the company as a result of reported sexual harassment and misconduct over the years. A number of Ubisoft executives have resigned or been replaced. The company says today's show has been pre-recorded and will not address these issues in any capacity. With all that in mind, however, Ubisoft has still showcased its games today alongside a Watch Dogs 2 giveaway to encourage you to tune in. Forgot about that, bollocks. I did tune in as well. Never mind. Here's everything you need to know from Ubisoft Forward. Fuck. Actually, just before we jump in, question. Obviously, there's been a lot of accusations and allegations and complaints regarding sexual harassment and so on within Ubisoft. Ubisoft put out a post before they went live. This is what that first paragraph is essentially saying that the content is pre-recorded and won't address any of that stuff within the show. Obviously, there's two sides of the fence in terms of response to that. How do you guys feel? Do you feel completely leave that at the door? Do you feel that this broadcast is purely about the games and it shouldn't be focusing on any of that stuff anyway, pre-recorded or not? Or do you feel that essentially silence is violence by not addressing it? They are ignoring it, which is what they potentially have done for many years already. I mean, what do you guys in the chat think as well? Feel free to let us know. What do you reckon, babe?
I think the way that Naughty Dog have gone into bat for their team in the way that they've been the way that some consumers have been treating them over social media has set the precedent as to what a company should do, looking after the people who work for them, whether or not it be the employees, the staff, community managers, or people who work for them at events, just like for 2 or 3 times a year. I think they need to come forward and say, this is a. I think the two of the board members have stepped down, haven't they, from Ubisoft over this recently as well.
Yeah.
Whether or not that would be in the last day or so. So again, that kind of speaks volumes. Ubisoft, at some point, whether or not they have to wait until an internal investigation is over, or they can just say we are currently investigating this. Stay tuned, kind of thing. But again, like you say, the silence is violence is not a good look for a company that produces the caliber of games that they have and the fan base that they have. They're a massive AAA company, and they need to treat their customers and the rest of their staff with that in mind. So get out the door and just put something out for the time being. Say, we hear everyone that's come forward. Sorry, I'm just burping here. We hear everyone that's coming forward, and we understand we are currently looking into this. We will do everything that we can to make this a safe workplace. That's all you need to say straight out the bat. You're just putting the confidence behind your employees, your staff, and everybody that's involved with it. Then do what you need to do internally. Then give a roundup of what's happened. If people are stepping down already, then it's pretty obvious that something dodgy has been going on behind the scenes and it needs to be eradicated immediately. Just give everyone the peace of mind, and especially people who are going to be working stupid hours, 70 hours a week, and give you absolutely everything in their life to give this company the reputation that they have. Don't tarnish it by not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have done all of that in essence. So they put statements out saying they're looking into it and they're looking to um, do the necessary investigations, and they're not do them.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing those. They have external bodies doing the investigations, so it's not just going to be biased by, say, if someone in the HR department is doing it and is mates with the executive or whatever that may have been accused. Then obviously their judgment could be clouded. So they said they do have some independent bodies running those investigations. So they have done that. It's just whether people feel they should have done that within the actual broadcast themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think with the broadcast though, I think the broadcast should be about the games because people will be tuning in to hear about the games. They will also be tuning in to hear about all the allegations that have been put forward for everybody else. But that I think that's a separate show where they need to take a full focus on that. Because if they was to include it in this, I think it would have been a sweeping statement that would have been 30 seconds or a minute, which doesn't give the opportunity for them to go deep dive into what it is that they're going to be doing forward. I don't think it was the right place to be able to put it into this. Again, like I said, it was pre-recorded. Everyone's going to be external. It's not as if they can just bring everyone into a meeting inside the building and do whatever they needed to do. Because obviously, like I said, it was pre-recorded. But they do need to do something away from this. Whether or not it be a 10, 15-minute segment into the nature and the culture that they've got going on in there and how they're going to change that going forward, just to give everyone that little bit of peace of mind. I do think that this was the best thing to do for the time being. Have it just a games festival because I think more people was waiting to sit down. They would have had the pen and paper ready to write news articles about what would have come out of this, regardless of the games itself. People have worked hard and poured their life into making these games for the time being. I don't think this was the right place to do it. Give the people who've come forward their opportunity to put their story forward away from this because you don't want it to get swept under the rug by major game announcements. That's my opinion on it anyway.
No, I agree. I agree. Jump into the chat then to address that. Then Rai says, I think you've got to look at it a different way. If they have the intention of looking into it and responding, then it's okay they ignored it in the stream because that's specifically to promote their games. But if they ignore it now they've done that, then something seriously needs to be done. Says Rise. Asim says, I think they could have addressed the sexual harassment and horrible culture stuff in the show, but I think it was right that they made it all about the games. It shines a light on the good people there and the work they've been doing on the upcoming titles. They put out a statement already, so I've said their bit and stuff is being done rightly so. Also, personally found it really uplifting to see two fellow brown faces hosting the show, one female and one male. Love that personally. Rise says, I get their reasoning though, because if they did address it in the stream, then it would be the main focus of over the games, which is unfair to the good eggs who have put time and effort into the games. I completely agree. I agree with that. I was just interested to see what other people's, because I don't think I've fully formed my opinion on that. I've just seen some people getting pissy about the fact that they didn't address it in the show. But I'm thinking, like, that there are some people that are clearly bad eggs, and one bad apple doesn't spoil the lot in that sort of case, because there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, I don't know, of people that work for Ubisoft around the world. And shitloads of people putting shitloads of time, go above and beyond to make wonderful experiences for people to enjoy. And a couple of people being assholes shouldn't change the tone of that. And where does it stop then? In terms of if they wanted to celebrate what good stuff is being done by the good people that are there, then that's what this is about, and it allows the community as well to get involved in that celebration so they can understand what's coming. So if they have to kind of like put that sort of statement into this to show that they're looking into it, I mean, they've already said that they have independent bodies looking into it anyway. For me, that should be enough, because if they have to then get forced to put messages into this, then do they have to put messages into every game following it as well, just to make sure that people understand that things are happening? And I think there isn't a need for that unnecessary lip service of, look, it's happening. I think actually making change, actually getting bodies in that are looking into the issues and fixing them, that for me is more important than just going, oh look, yeah, we understand bad things happen and we're going to fix it. It's like that has been said. So the fact that they've said that, and the fact that they looked actively into pushing change rather than just talking about change, that is the bigger thing for me. So completely make sure shit gets done, but then make sure the narrative for, I mean Ubisoft is a company that has games that are wide ranging, and I want to be careful with how I say this, because it could be kind of not interpreted badly in terms of it's offensive, but kids and families will be watching this program. Not that I feel that kids and families should be shielded from that, because it's based in moral compass in terms of they're doing the right thing by making sure people are pulled up for sexual harassment. Kids not necessarily shouldn't be shielded from that because it's righteous, but is it something that you kind of want when you're just trying to show your kids that there's a new episode of Rabbids or whatever Ubisoft game they've got? So yeah, I'm not against them not having that within there, particularly that it's pre-recorded and everything, as long as they do something about it. And on the surface, from their content they put out, it seems like they are doing something about it. And one thing that's good with Ubisoft as well, and I don't know whether it's because of their international flair. One thing I say about Ubisoft is they are more exuberant than any other company of its size, and I think that's because they've got that American Canadian grounding, but they also have that European, that French input. So I think Ubisoft are quite fluffy, quite flowery, and they quite take chances and stuff with their content. They push the boundaries and I mean, to the point where they had BB Rexa opening up their E3 show last year or the year before to some Just Dance content, and then went into a Rabbids thing. That they're not afraid of doing things different or first. So it doesn't surprise me. Where's Asim's comment? I found it really uplifting to see two fellow brown faces hosting the show. It doesn't surprise me that Ubisoft are. I mean, let's be honest. That is forward thinking. I mean, it shouldn't be. It should be general thinking, but it is forward thinking. The fact that Ubisoft are quite inclusive with their hosting panel off the bat, it's kind of like there was no thinking about it. And Ubisoft are really good with that sort of stuff. So that level of fun, inclusivity, and heartwarmingness, putting that against the obviously the dirty underbelly of the sexual harassment claims, kind of creates I don't know, almost like a juxtaposition that doesn't need to be in the broadcast there. So yeah. Anyway, let's get the details out of the way. Let's get into the fun stuff now then. Well, debatable. Depends on what you're interested. I actually watched the Ubisoft Forward stuff last night. Clearly didn't pay attention because there's so many stuff. I mean, there's at least 2 games that were included here that I didn't see.
Just to say before we actually get into this, a few people are asking about the PES news. Which, if we've got time at the end of this, we'll definitely go over that for you. But we haven't included it in today because of this Ubisoft stuff.
Yeah,
there's loads to get through.
if not today, we will definitely include it tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, there was some potential leaked content. Thanks to the lovely people at Microsoft who got more leaks than my sync. So yeah, potentially going to cover it then. But we'll jump into this so we can speed through things, see if we have time. So, with all that in mind, however, Ubisoft still showcased its game today alongside a Watch Dogs 2 giveaway to encourage you to tune in, which Graham forgot about. All sweat. Anyway, here's everything you needed to know from Ubisoft Forward. Just Dance 2020 shows off some new content. Got to mute that because we don't want the DMCA taken down. Did not notice this. Where was this? Was this in the pre-show? Was it in the post-show? I didn't see because when the show started at 8 o'clock, I was in there for I left it right up until the money, so it got to 30-second countdown on the timer, and then I jumped in and started it, and I didn't see anything on Just Dance. Yeah. Oh, so let's jump. Dance like never before in a virtual paradise in season 3 of Just Dance. Explore 3 new songs, rediscover 3 iconic songs, and groove to a new playlist. Just Dance 2020. Okay, we'll skip. New content for Just Dance 2020. Kind of self-explanatory, so we don't need to jump into that too much. And as it says there, per tradition, Ubisoft kicks things off by showing off Just Dance, not the next game, but some new content for Just Dance 2020. Oh, I have a Skype call. Get out of the way. So I'm assuming that was on the pre-show because I didn't watch the pre-show. So next bit of news: The Crew 2. Summer in Hollywood has just kicked off in The Crew 2, and we're not stopping there. Get the 1967 Volkswagen Beetle for 1 crew credit now through July the 14th, and catch a sneak peek of what's to come for Year 3 in Motor Nation. So The Crew 2 Year 3 gets a brief teaser. The Crew 2 is still trucking along, and while Ubisoft mostly showed off some recent existing updates, the studio also provided a brief teaser for Year 3.
Hi everyone, and welcome.
Whoop! I've just hit play. I'll mute that one. Did you see any of this content? Have you looked at this? Have you seen anything that looks?
No, I was again out for pretty much all of yesterday getting house stuff, so I didn't get to see any of it. I came back at 7:30 to grab something to eat. That was the first time I'd got back in the house, so I didn't actually get to see any of it yesterday. So I'm reading all of this. Well, I read the majority of it this morning when I was pulling it all together, but yeah, I didn't see any of the trailers or anything. I watched them all this morning.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just looking at this. Is anyone in the chat still playing The Crew 2?
I loved the original Crew, the Crew 1. I absolutely loved it. Finished it. It was an amazing game. It was. I thought it was the closest you could probably get to the Underground 2 feels many years ago. I never picked up the Crew 2, which is something that I may end up doing if it's the right price. I don't really want to be paying £35 for a game that's 3 years old. But if it's the right price, I may end up picking it up before I move out, so I've got something to play offline. Although I think it's an online only game. I can't remember. I'll have to figure that one out.
You're probably not.
I'm sure it's an online environment.
Madge says, Just Dance Crew 2, when was this shown last night? I didn't see either of these, Madge, so I'm completely in the same boat as you. Unless it was in the pre-show. I know there was post-content, because after the Ubisoft Forward event finished, they went into a 30-minute Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay sort of stint, and I just kind of turned off then. I thought, okay, well, I don't mind these, but I know roughly what an Assassin's Creed game played like. And if there's anything that's stand out, it would have been included in the actual announcement. So I don't necessarily need to see the gameplay. So I turned off at the gameplay bit. I turned on for the pre-show, and there was Trackmania stuff, which looks okay. It looks like it could be fun. It doesn't look like it would be like an amazing game for me. So anyway, I was watching it, and I thought there was still like 30 odd minutes left until the show started. I just went back to other programming on Twitch because I thought, okay, I'll just wait for the main show, because it seemed like it was just content side of things, just having a chat, but unscripted with general points to tick. And I'm not the biggest fan of those. If I want to watch, if I'm watching something that is marketing spiel, then I want it to be kind of nailed on and on the point. So if it's the Ubisoft Forward, that's going to be toned back. It's going to be stripped out. They're not going to be waffling. They're going to get the messages that they need in the right way. Whereas if it's the pre-show stuff and it's just people talking on a live stream and developer being interviewed by someone else, then you can get just a bit of cheesy, and that stuff doesn't necessarily sit well with me. So anyway, I saw a bit of that for Trackmania and turned it off. So I've probably missed bits. Asim says there, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the pre-show, basically minor updates announcement. Well, I didn't realize they'd have had the announcements in pre-show, but there you go. They clearly had enough for the Ubisoft Forward main show. Let's jump back in then. So first up, Just Dance, followed by The Crew 2. Then into Trials Rising. So it gets the Giga track on July the 16th. Season 6 of Trials Rising rolls on, and the devs detail the next big edition. Let's look at the embedded tweet. I'll hit play on the video while I read it. An exciting endurance challenge is coming back to the Trials franchise. The Giga track. The Giga track tests your skills as the longest track in a Trials game ever. Ready for the challenge? Available free on July the 16th. Jenkins says, random gang sign?
Yeah.
Sup, man?
Ryan Jenkins.
I'm going to take that C for champions for Ice Cream Uploads. That's what that gang sign is. Ice Cream Uploads FC, a champions elect. That's what it means. No? Okay. Anyway, so Trials Rising, new map, longer than ever. Job's good. Do you know, I've never played a Trials game. They look fun as fuck. I know it's that 3D, 2D sort of style, and like just a you're dead, try again. You're dead, try again. You crash, try again.
I've played a lot of frustrating games in my time, and this is definitely up there. I played. It felt like it does seem like forever now because it was. I remember being in school and going on like Newgrounds and Miniclip, and they had all of these games. But I got the one that came out on the Xbox 360 when that first came out, and there I think it was like Trials HD. I think it was called, and that, my God, was the most frustrating. It was even more frustrating because it had a ghost next. I'm sure it still does in these as well. It had a ghost of your friends' bikes as you're playing. So if they're in front of you and then you end up wipe out and you see them go on and finish the track, that would boil your piss more than anything because you're thinking, how are they managing to do that? You just see them whiz off and they're finishing the track before you've even got off the first part. So yeah, it's a very, very, very frustrating game, and you need so much patience to play these games. They are very fun though. If you can get used to them, they are very fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's not a motorbike game. It's not about any of the real like physics and stuff like that. It's literally just a push forward, backwards, accelerate, or whatever to lean forward back. It's just essentially button presses that's hidden in the style of motorbike game. But I think that's what makes me kind of like it, the simplicity of what it is. Never played it, but I would like to. Seeing that I want to play Freak Style on PS2, says Jenkins. Bib's probably got that. You know what he's like. Bib's has got every PS2 game that's ever existed. Crash Bandicoot, the king of frustrating games, particularly the new one. I didn't play it, but so I've been told. Anyway, let's move forward. Ghost Recon. Let's read the blurb first. Ghost Recon Breakpoint's AI teammates get detailed. After a lengthy wait, Ubisoft has finally broken down everything you need to know about Ghost Recon Breakpoint's impending AI teammates landing July the 15th, so just 2 days from now. AI teammates are here, Ghost. Fury, Fixit, and Vasily have got your back. Customize their look, loadout, and behavior when the free update drops July the 15th. Anyone playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint in the chat?
No.
I genuinely know very few people have been playing this. But anyway, it seems like we've got the I mean, no offense to anyone that likes these games, seems like we've got the chaff out of the way now. Anyway, now we start to get into the proper meat of the broadcast, because this is obviously stuff that was included in the main show, so these are their headline bits of content now. As we jump in to Watch Dogs Legion, which has been confirmed as being out on October the 29th, 2020. Watch Dogs Legion got a fresh gameplay overview, along with the news that the game is due to launch on October the 29th. Oh, why is there no video for that one? Because this one I actually thought was really, really good. Is it a YouTube embed? Is that what it is? It is. There we go. Nice. Okay, we'll leave this on now. So yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. I probably don't remember all of it, but the way it kind of came across to me is that you obviously are a member of DedSec, you're a hacker, you jump in and you can take over, rather than just taking over cars and vehicles and cameras and things that you've been able to do previously. I mean, this is from someone that's never played Watch Dogs either, by the way, so I could be completely off with my descriptions. But you can choose to take over pretty much anyone within the game. Obviously, there will be some hindrances on that in terms of you won't be able to take over absolutely everyone. But if you're walking around, the examples they gave, there was like some sort of construction worker in the street. You could take over him, and he then has a different set of tools, aka he's got a big feck off wrench in his hand. Or you could take over some hacker woman that could potentially hack drones and things and use those to your advantage. Or you could take over one of the Albion security guards, which the Albion is essentially the bad guys. You could take over one of them, and he has different skills in the fact that he can access areas of bases of the enemy sort of strongholds just by going in because he's got the uniform, he's got the face, he's got the pass, and so on. Anyway, long story short, from that, it showed you like really good. What's the word? Not terrain, environment. So basically, it was London, but you saw Camden, you saw all sorts of other areas, and maybe I think it looks really good because I've seen a bunch of these places. People that haven't been to London might not like it as much, but it had that sort of like futuristic, modern feel, but places that I can relate to, places that I've seen, places that I've been, and it looked pretty good. I mean, Watch Dogs and Ubisoft in general, when they do these sort of like trailers and conferencey bits, they kind of almost make it sound like everything's in it. And then when it actually comes to it, it sounds like you've got sandbox, but it's very much on rails and so on. And I don't get there's probably going to be bits of that, but it did look really good. It did look really good. On rails balance simulation experience. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there you go. There's the construction dude that I was talking about. So this guy has a big wrench in his hand. So he has different skills, and he's pissing. Obviously, he has different skills versus someone else. You can still do the hacky stuff. So here he takes over a truck and drives the fecker away. But he has a completely different set of skills from what someone that is just the more traditional hacker has. Mad says, no, Ghost Recon burned its bridges with me. Years of drivel games. Yeah, that's the reason why I was asking. Ghost Recon Breakpoint in particular kind of burned its bridges. It didn't do very well, let's put it that way. Look, he's got a nail gun as well. I mean, you're running around in futuristic times and he's got a nail gun. Pow, 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 pow.
The Breakpoint stand at Gamescom looked awesome though, didn't it? Like there was queues and queues of people ready to play it, and it just seems to have died in its ass as soon as it came out, unfortunately.
I mean, that kind of ties into what I was saying with Ubisoft before. I mean, they know how to market in terms of they know how to put on a good show. And here's the more traditional sort of hacker, a drone expert who uses technology to hack into things rather than a nail gun or a wrench and so on. She's kind of more hands-off, distant stuff. Do you know? It's actually worth watching this video if you want if you can with the audio on, because I mean our descriptions of it probably aren't doing it the greatest. Do you know what? I'm going to put the audio on
Summon their own drone.
a little, just so that we have a little bit of something behind it. But yeah, Ubisoft are really good at marketing in terms of putting their messaging out and getting it out there and getting people to play and dressing it up and making it look phenomenal. Ubisoft stands are always great. You go to Gamescom, Ubisoft stands are always packed with people because they know how to use merchandising, giveaways, and influencers and content creators and whatever. They can do all of that really well. But yeah, it doesn't help if your game still pants at the end of it because you still have to deal with that.
Well, Wildlands always looked amazing, and then Breakpoint came out, and it seemed to be a copy and paste. I remember watching Shroud play Breakpoint, and it looked awfully familiar, just in a different setting, which is probably another reason why it maybe didn't do so well, because Wildlands was still going strong. They still had season passes going alongside Breakpoint. So it's interesting to see that they brought out a new game that was very similar, just in a different setting. So yeah, I don't know how long they'll keep on going with Breakpoint, but I mean, it could be one of them games that have come full circle and actually ended up becoming a completely separate game and go on to push the boundaries of what a Ghost Recon game is going to be like. But I don't know. I haven't played it, so I can't pass judgment on it. All I can see is from what I've seen, either watching people play it, the sponsored videos, or just people that I trust's opinion on it. Is it a game that I'll like to pick up at some point? Maybe. My backlog of games to get through is incredibly large at this moment in time, so it won't be anytime soon. But Breakpoint, if I was to choose between that and Wildlands, I'd probably go with the Wildlands, if I'm being honest.
Just watching this video now. This is where we get the football hooligan. I mean, it wouldn't be a London game if we didn't have some sort of like almost West Ham-ish Arsenal lad. Yeah, fuck you want some, you fucking cunts and stuff. And then gets drunk and then passes out after smashing himself in the head with a can, because that's what all British people do, apparently. Yes. Anyway, let's pause that there. Jump back into us. Apparently, Breakpoint is less than stellar, says Magic Man. Ghost Recon has been milked to death. The Crew 2 stand at PAX East was awesome. Tito, good morning, Tito.
Morning, Tito.
Ubisoft, unfortunately for me, produced too many underwhelming games with far too many microtransactions. I was a massive fan of The Division, but the sequel was awful. I was a big fan of Ghost Recon, but the sequel was awful. There's a pattern. From what I've seen,
There's a pattern, yeah.
Yeah. From what I've seen, the recruitment in Watch Dogs Legion quickly gets repetitive. Yes, you can recruit anyone, but the missions you need to do aren't varied, including full use of voice acting and lines with a slightly different character. Okay. I mean, that's the thing. I was watching this trailer yesterday as someone that hasn't played a Watch Dogs game, and was suitably impressed in the variety. So you could go up close combat. You can essentially go shooting. You can hack, obviously, the drones and stuff, and so on. I mean, all of that stuff probably has been in the past few games, but the detail of the character building. So obviously going through to a football fan who's got his own designed football shirt on, through to someone that works for the businesses, through to construction workers and so on. The way that they put that together looked really good, and the way that they kind of sewed all of that in together. I mean, we've still got a minute and a bit left. See if there's anything else that I missed here. And then they go into some sort of like assassin sort of thing. So yeah, it looked really good. But then again, I haven't played any Watch Dogs games, so I mean, you guys might have a bit more information. If previous Watch Dogs were milked with microtransactions, then maybe this is. Who knows? It might be just because it's early and they haven't fleshed it out. I mean, this looked reasonably well fleshed out in terms of the way that they've recreated London. After they showed that, they went into a developer sort of like input, and there was a developer from the Montreal studio, I think it was, and it kind of gave you her input as to what she feels about Watch Dogs, and like she'd had Watch Dogs Legion at events previously, and she's been speaking to people that were actually from London, and they were giving their inputs of, I know that place, I've been there, I've seen there, and seen that sort of input as to what the worlds are, why they were created, what the emotional ties are to them, how the characters have been developed. That sort of stuff was really cool. I did kind of buy into it, and after when the end of the presentation kind of finished for Watch Dogs Legion, I thought, do you know what, that actually looks like a fairly solid game. That said, like I said, I've never played any of the previous ones, so I don't know what the weaknesses are of previous games coming in. So I can't tell you if they've learned from weaknesses or not, because I don't have that knowledge. Madge says, sounds like Ask Creek content, bucket loads, but you're going to get exhausted quickly with grind. Still, I'm cautiously optimistic for the first time for Watch Dogs. That's the thing. I mean, nobody wants a game where you have so much to do that it's just filler. There's 100 missions. Nice. Fucking love 100 missions. There's only really 30 missions, because it's like 30 missions, but then the other 70 are just the same mission rehashed with a different. Right, pick a purse off this man. Pick a wallet off that dude. Or pick this. And it's like, okay, so you just want me to pickpocket shit. That was my issue with the early Assassin's Creed games. So I could, if it is more of that, then yeah, that would do my noting. Good morning, Blizzard. How are you doing?
Morning, Blizzard.
Anyway, let's jump off of the YouTube video. So that's Watch Dogs Legion. If anyone has any more to add, please feel free to jump in. We'll probably skip past the next one pretty quickly. But Brawlhalla has its mobile release date, which is set for August the 6th. Brawlhalla's iOS and Android ports are coming August 6th with full crossplay. I'll hit play on the video as it's embedded, which we don't mind embedded videos. So if anyone does play Brawlhalla, it's obviously been hugely successful so far. It's now coming to iOS and Android. There we go, with full crossplay. So essentially the same sort of mechanic as Smash Brothers. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I've never actually played it myself, once again. Tudor says, but you can buy XP boosters to skip the grind. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the pay to speed up. Anyway, let's move forward. Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. I did see this. I was thinking I didn't see this, but I did see this. This was something that was not for me. Let's put it that way. So Tom Clancy's Elite Squad is still coming soon. It says August 27th there. What do you mean coming soon? The mobile iteration of the Tom Clancy universe is still your only chance to see Sam Fisher in action for the foreseeable future. The way this kind of came across to me, I don't know if anyone's seen anything about Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. That's completely lost on me. I'd never even heard of it before yesterday. It looked like they'd taken the likes of Sam Fisher and co. from Sam Fisher's Siphon Phil. That's what it is, I think. So they've taken Sam Fisher from.
Sam Fisher was thingy, wasn't it? Splinter Cell.
That's it. I always get them mixed up. There we go. Siphon, yeah. Sammy J is a Splinter Cell. Yeah. So basically, knock off Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. So Splinter Cell main character. Everyone wants a Splinter Cell game to come back, and they aren't doing it. They're just sticking him into a mobile game that looked almost like Fortnite-y, Overwatch-y, even Valorant-y art style. But skimmed down for mobile friendliness. It looked like they'd taken the main character of Splinter Cell, which is kind of a more stealthy, grown-up game, and then put him into a more family-oriented design. It didn't look like it was something for me, anyway. I'll put it that way.
The account's not even been verified on Twitter, and it's got 1,400 follows. I can see that being a big hit.
Massive, huge. Not so much. Anyway, let's move forward and let's get into Hyperscrap. Sorry, Hyperspace. No, Hyperscape. There we go. Got there eventually. I keep seeing loads of people calling this Hyperspace even now. But the Hyperscape is waiting. Join the open beta and prove you have what it takes to become a champion of Crown Rush. Download and play for free on Uplay PC today. Get rid of Uplay, but okay. I'll mute this. I'll leave this playing. So Hyperspace, Scape, or Scrap. No, it is Scape. There we go. So Hyperscape is obviously I had the technical test a few weeks back, or last week before. It's now coming into open beta for everyone to get involved today. The game, obviously, I'm leaving the video playing on screen, which is an embedded tweet. The game is decent. If anyone hasn't seen anything on Hyperscape yet, the gist of it is, if you've seen Ready Player One, this is Hyperscape. The Hyperscape is a digital representation of a real world that you jump into, just like you would if you're in Ready Player One, where they have, what's it called, the Oasis or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
And you get into that. It's essentially a video game where you all jump in and you all battle, and job's good. It's futuristic. It's set in the year 2054, as you've just seen then. You have a 100-player battle royale until you get down to the end, and then the crown appears, and it turns into kind of a capture the flag element. Then you hold the crown for 45 seconds, you win the game. If you kill everyone else instead, you also win the game. So, I mean, one or the other, job's good. And the game looked pretty decent. Still, as we've mentioned previously, I mean, if you haven't seen our previous elements, if you jump back through our past broadcasts, we have spoken about Hyperscape when it was first announced. And I said at that point in time, I didn't quite like it. It adds verticality. So if you like what Fortnite gives you, and if you like what Apex gives you, then Hyperscape will 100% be a battle royale sort of game for you. It has essentially legends. It doesn't. It has characters, but because you can pick up hacks and things within the game, you essentially get the powers that you would associate with a legend from the likes of Overwatch. So you might be able to throw up a wall, or you might be able to turn into a big bouncing ball, obviously. You can power up your weapons and build as you go. This is the bit where he's grabbing the crown now. That's where the game turns into the capture the flag sort of element. But once again, decent enough game, but it's now available for everyone on open beta. Have you seen any Hyperscape stuff, babe?
I have, yes. Again, it's something that me and you have spoken about. It's the the verticality, if that's the word that we're looking for the double jumping and stuff like that, it's not my bag, unfortunately. It looks like a good little play on the battle royale thing. So again, it's taken the battle royale formula and changed it slightly so that it's not going to be the same FPS that is going alongside the likes of um, PUBG and Fortnite and Warzone. It just adds something a little bit different. I do like the capture the flag element mixed in with it as well. I think that's kind of cool, but the double jumping and stuff like that, and the wall running, that kind of takes it away from what I would want from a game. So yeah, I'll probably end up downloading it because it is a free to play game. So why would I not try it? I've got the opportunity to do so. So I may give it a one or two playthroughs, and then I may change my mind. Who knows? But yeah, from the get go, it doesn't look like a game that I would be heavily invested in, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I will probably try it as well. It's probably going to be something. I mean, Valorant didn't look like a game that I wanted to watch, but when we played it on stream, I love playing Valorant. It's a game that's for me made for playing rather than for streaming. I know that's kind of counterintuitive to the fact that they're building huge esports and stuff behind it, which is viewing purposes only. I didn't really enjoy watching Valorant. I really enjoyed playing Valorant. Maybe Hyperscape is another one of those games for me. Madge says Elite Squad, zero gameplay, and a trailer that looked like a Team Fortress 2 expansion or Counter Spy, if you remember that game. Similar art. Asim says, I saw someone called Ubisoft asshole for not announcing a proper Splinter Cell game. Gotta love gamer self-entitlement. I mean, to be fair, they are assholes. I mean, how dare they not do everything that everyone else wants instantly when they want it? Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would love a new Splinter Cell, but I don't think I'd resort to call people at a company assholes for not bowing to my will. Well, that's where you're wrong, Asim. You clearly need to learn how to use the internet because that's how it is used. If a company doesn't do what you want, you are firmly within your rights to be offensive. I mean, I thought that wasn't the case, but clearly hundreds of thousands of people out there know better than me because they all do the same things. Well, that. Now, if a company's not giving you the game you want, all about, creating a demand for it by uniting with other people that want it and be supportive to the point where the company thinks, actually, you know what, there's a good community here. Maybe creating a game for these would be nice rather than, wow, they're a set of toxic bastards. Let's mute those so we don't get their opinions. But that's just my crazy thoughts. What do I know? What do I know? Mad says Hyperscape trailer looked cool. No idea if it's a good game, but it's fun looking. Stop being a sensible killjoy. Vertical shooter with CTF sounds like a spiritual successor to Brink. I mean, it has quite a few good bits about it. So you can revive your teammates. The fact that it's digital, you're obviously in a sort of a simulation, a VR simulation, to call it something really skimmed down. You're not an actual person that can die like you are in PUBGs or Warzones or whatever. The fact that you get dead and you can remain in the game when you're dead as a spectator for your teammates and stuff. There's some really cool stuff in there. I think it's that verticality though, the fact that you can double jump, the fact that there are floor almost launchers that'll send you up high onto the roofs and things like that, which means that you pretty much have a 360-degree fight going on around you all the time, which it's that escapism from realism, which some people would absolutely love, but it's too escaped for me. For me personally, I mean, what do I know? Hyperscape was one of the most viewed games when it first came out, probably because of Twitch drops. But still, what do I know? What do I know? Brink, so hyped, so disappointing, says Sammy J. I don't think it performed well on Twitch. A lot of people comment because it's a vertical and quite fast paced. It's difficult to follow as a viewer. Will be interesting to see how it performs long term. Does FTPBR need Twitch to be a success? I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, I don't think it needs Twitch to be a success, but Valorant has used Twitch to its success very, very well. And that's the thing. Twitch.
Well, first of all, they got supreme esports players to get behind it. First of all, because like you said, there's going to be an esports made out of Valorant eventually, like a proper full time one rather than just like people hosting little community ones. So to get people who invested in CS:GO and the streaming world itself was a massively smart move. I haven't seen much of hyperspace outside of that. Hyperscape, fuck's sake.
I do it all the time.
Hyperscape outside of that.
I can't call it
Do you?
Hyperscape.
I mean, when was the last time you went onto Twitch and saw someone playing that game? If you didn't actively look in the category,
Maybe within the last week. I think I might have seen it. Actually, no, I wouldn't have done. No wonder, because it went off. The last time I saw it was a PUBG streamer, well, so PUBG streamer. He streams a lot of BRs. His Visions VSNZ, and he tweeted the other day that he's going to do probably some Hyperscape, and then someone said, "No, you're not, because it's offline because they closed the technical test and they've reopened it." So over the last few days, there's been nothing around it because it's not been available. But I think the fact that nobody knew that adds to that negative sort of like rolling stone, so to speak. People didn't quite get it, didn't quite understand it. It came out of nowhere, but the difference with Apex came out of nowhere, and it was like silence, silence, silence. Boom! Massive explosion, shitloads of information constantly. It's all here, and this is happening. Whereas this was like silence, silence, silence. Boom! And yeah, you guys just chat amongst yourselves and figure it out. And there wasn't the information supporting it. It should have been like a countdown to, oh, you've only got 3 days left of the technical test, 2 days, final day, get involved today, and it's gone, but it will be back soon. And you kind of need that ongoing story. If not, people just think, oh, well, it's just shit itself and just giving up on it. Like that Crucible from Amazon. No, that was just shit. This was much better than that, but still not enough narrative and marketing and open discussion around it to the point where people that aren't actively searching for it are missing the fact that it's not available. So yeah, when it comes back, now in open beta, I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers have taken a big jump up again. But they need the content going around that, and Ubisoft, I feel, aren't as good at that. I mean, whilst they are good at marketing and doing all the colourful stuff, but it's the more consistent, ongoing marketing with the messaging. They don't do that as well as an EA or whoever. And I think that probably shows with the fact that Hyperscape dropped off pretty quickly. Crucible had no Twitch presence and it's gone back into closed beta stage. 100%. Yeah, they absolutely dropped the ball on that. Once again, another one that came out of nowhere-ish. I mean, we knew it was coming, but it's kind of like, yeah, everyone's playing Crucible, and we just don't get it. So we don't have the information that goes with it. And it's easy for a game, particularly one that has such a big investment, to drop off so badly, because if you can see a game that's had a shit ton of money thrown into it, but it's bad, people almost step back away from it quickly, as in like yeah, that's not right. I mean, if a game's done by a couple of indie developers and there's glitches and breaks in it and bugs in it, you kind of go, oh, it's only a couple of people working in a shed. That's lovely. If something's got teams of people and there's a AAA title and just isn't great, people go, well, if they've got all of that and they can't achieve it, then they're never going to achieve it. So I think, not that Crucible was broken, but it just wasn't what people wanted it to be. And if you've got a full team of Amazon staff behind it, and it isn't what you want it, not that they wanted it to be anything, it just wasn't anything really enjoyable. So people, all that resource and you can't do something decent, I'm just going to leave it. Tito says, weird seeing as Crucible and Twitch is Amazon. They should have been all over it. And that's the thing. We had the conversation of that, saying, if this is your game, your first AAA release, why does that not have Twitch drops to get codes for it? But Valorant did have Twitch drops to get codes for it, and Hyperscape did have Twitch drops to get codes for it. Why not put your own game onto that? Because you're creating a false economy, essentially. People are watching the game, not because they actually enjoy it, just so that they can get a code. And there's different reasons for that. Some wanted to create content. Some wanted to actually play it because they enjoy it. Some are doing it just to get codes so they can sell them. Whatever the reasoning is, there's a false economy there. There's a need for people to be watching it, which makes it seem better than it is. Potentially. I mean, it could be really good as well. But why they didn't do that with Crucible when they've had the perfect case study with Valorant and they're following it up with Hyperscape, doing it with your own game just seems like a no-brainer. But yeah, going back to Tito's comment of, does a free-to-play Battle Royale need Twitch to be a success? Nah, it doesn't need it. But it helps. I mean, I suppose, naturally, I'll take that back. It kind of does need it. It doesn't need Twitch's systems, like the drops and stuff, to be a success. That does help, and that's been proven multiple times. That's why you see, as soon as a Twitch streamer has drops enabled, watch for drops, or farm for drops, or in the title, it's there. I mean, we've done it with Valorant as well, because it works. I mean, people watch stuff if they can get something back as a result. It doesn't necessarily need it in that sort of sense. I mean, DayZ, PUBG, Fortnite, they all had huge success Even the culling had huge success on Twitch without those mechanics. I mean, arguably, Twitch led to the success of those because people were watching, people needed content, and Twitch kind of helped with the success of them. So they don't need Twitch's mechanics. They do kind of need Twitch as a vessel for sharing the messaging. So does it need Twitch? Yeah, kinda, but not directly. Cheeto says, I was reading that Destiny 2 has been really lucrative for streamers lately. They cleverly enabled exclusive rewards for viewers who gifted subs to. Yeah, some streamers were earning like tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds off that. So the gist of it was that there was a rewards pack, almost like Prime Loot in Destiny 2. Whereas if you're in someone's channel and they're playing Destiny 2 or whatever it was, and they had everything linked up, if you gave 2 subs in their channel, you got given this nice, sexy purple skin in game, and it looked really good. So people are, I want this new limited edition skin. So I'll be watching Bib play Destiny 2. I'll drop 2 subs in the channel. Bib gets the benefit of 2 subs. His viewers get the benefit of subs. I get this free new skin. But the good stuff behind that is not just the fact that the streamer is earning money, so therefore incentivizes the streamer to play the game. The viewers are being given subs, so it incentivizes the viewers to actually watch the content. So that's another way of, okay, I'm going to stream it because I'm going to get money. Okay, I'm going to watch it because I'm going to get free stuff, and I'm going to gift subs, so I'm going to get free stuff, and everyone kind of wins off it. It's a really, really clever way of doing it. But yeah, some streamers earn hundreds of thousands off that. It's huge, and that's the kind of stuff that you kind of want to see. Companies that work to give everyone a little bit of something back. But anyway, I'm going to shut up waffling on that one because we do have a couple more bits to jump through, and we've been live for a good old while. So jumping into the next bit of news, and we kind of knew this one was going to be in it all along. Assassin's Creed Valhalla launches on November 17th. Have you watched any of the Valhalla stuff from yesterday, Bib, yet? Bibs has died.
No, sorry, you do keep on cutting out a second. One of my screens has just gone off, and I think it's to do with my graphics card, so I'm currently trying to get that sorted out before Masters of the League.
Okay. Well, I will keep talking then. That's fine. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla launches November 17th. We've got a look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla plus an actual launch date of November 17th. For those of you that didn't see yesterday, they essentially give you the idea of what Assassin's Creed Valhalla is. Rather than Vikings just being these medieval thugs that go around and trash towns and cities, they showed you the sort of, they want to paint the real life sort of element. Vikings have children and they have fun and they have games, and they're having to leave their Nordic beginnings because of political reasons or whatever, and they're coming across to the UK, which is actually, put this back on the screen. This is them landing on the shores of the UK, and then getting into fights, and it's showing you like the options of getting straight into gunfights, burning out towns to create more chaos, and so on. Look really good. I mean, if I'm gonna be super critical, I don't think it hits the highs that first trailer hit for me. But I think that's always going to be difficult. That's not a negative in itself. The first trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla just absolutely nailed it. There's so many games that in the past that have had amazing trailers that the games could never live up to it. Dead Island, for example, the first trailer for Dead Island, the reverse one, phenomenal. No way a game could almost no way a game could ever live up to that. Very few games do. That said, despite this not looking as good as that first trailer, it still looked really good. And the fact that the character, you can either have a male or a female variant, shows that once again Ubisoft are quite forward and the times in terms of, okay, we understand there's representation and inclusion not just in our broadcasts but in our games. So I've loved the main character. If you want to play as a Game of Thrones-esque sort of like Jon Snow-ish Viking, jobs are good. But if you want to play as Daenerys Targaryen, then you have the female option too. So yeah, well played to them. Valhalla looked decent, to be fair, says Madge. It did look decent. I mean, my only comment that would be negative is also wrapped up with a pinch of it didn't look very next gen. But throughout all of the gameplay content, they did say that this is work in progress, not representative of the final build as well. And not only that, they can't really be showing you next gen stuff, I imagine, without any sort of official buy-in there. But it looked like an Assassin's Creed game. It looked really good, like you'd expect from an Assassin's Creed game. There we go. I was just about to say it's falling asleep. But it didn't necessarily push the envelope too far. Maybe that's because Assassin's Creed are already pretty far ahead with that so-called envelope. Anyway, whilst Babe isn't here, we'll just continue pushing forward. Babe is trying to sort out his graphics and stuff because obviously we do have Masters of the League straight after this, so he's trying to fix that stuff because I can chat shit for England on my own without Babe. So I'll do that now while he continues fixing that. As we jump in to the final bit, this was the bit that had been essentially rumored or spoken about. Let's go to this screen while Babe's in there, just so we're having picture. So this was spoken about previously. Had it actually been announced? I don't think so. Let me see. Yeah, no, it hadn't been announced, but it had been leaked. That's what I thought. So Far Cry 6 was the final game that they showed at the end. And for those of you that may have may have seen Breaking Bad or the Maze Runner game films, or what else has he been in? I can't remember. He's been in quite a few bits. Anyway, Giancarlo Esposito, as you will know from the face just here on the side of the screen, has been confirmed as one of the lead characters in Far Cry 6. So watch the world premiere of Far Cry 6 featuring Giancarlo Esposito and set in the war-torn world of Yara. Available February 18th, 2021. We have Bibbs' voice back. Yay.
Yay.
No picture, just voice.
Oh, okay. 1 second. I can change that. I can get my beautiful face back on your big screens.
I will continue reading while Bibbs' face returns. Far Cry 6. Oh, there he is. Look at that face. Yeah. So Far Cry 6 is due out February 18th. And to no one's surprise, after loads of leaks, Ubisoft has confirmed that Far Cry 6 is indeed coming on February the 18th. Did you see the Far Cry 6 reveal bit?
Ish. I've seen the rumours that have been going around for ages, and I've seen a little bit of it this morning. I have actually just looked to see how much Far Cry 5 is, and it is £7.50. So that will be my that's my lockdown game. That'll be my moving game that I'm able to play, because I am a massive. How much am I a massive fan if I don't actually play the games when they come out? However, I finished the rest of the Far Cries before when they did actually come out. A big fan of the franchise. I don't know why I didn't pick up the fifth one. Probably had more games to play through than sticks to shake at. But yeah, it's one of them. I do absolutely love it, so I will be playing through Far Cry 5. I am immensely excited by Far Cry 6. It's Gus from Breaking Bad, and they're doing an injustice about not knowing what his name is, but it's Gus from Breaking Bad.
No, it wasn't so much that I didn't know his name. It was I couldn't remember what else he'd been in, and I've just
No, I didn't say it's an injustice against you. I mean me.
Oh,
I can't remember what his name is.
Giancarlo Esposito.
That's the one.
Yeah, him. He's been in. I think he was in like a really crap Sky One series that didn't last very long called Terra Nova as well. I'm fairly sure he was in that.
He was in something that I watched recently as well, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, he's been in so much stuff. That's why I kind of I couldn't remember what else he'd been in. Let's have a look. He was in
The Mandalorian. That's what he was in.
Obviously. Line of Duty? What the hell? Yeah. Maze Runner, for the Westworld TV series. Yeah. He's been in so much stuff. Jungle Book, he was Aquila. He was the voice of Aquila in the Jungle Book as well.
Obviously, I've been watching Better Call Saul as well, so he's obviously in that. But yeah, a big fan of this. I can't wait to play it. It looks a lot more like a Far Cry game that I want to play, because, like, for instance, Far Cry Primal, really didn't like that. I didn't even get halfway through that. It just wasn't. It didn't feel like a Far Cry game to me, of what I'd come to expect. So I never played that one. Still, Far Cry 2 is by far my favorite one, even though for me it was the hardest one. As soon as you got malaria, that was it. It was fucking well hard to play, but for me, it's still the
kind
best one.
Realistic, I suppose. If you get malaria, life's a bit hard to play.
Well, yeah, because your screen starts to go blurry, and you can't control. Your guy doesn't aim straight. He starts to twist from left to right, so it's hard to be able to focus and get through it without finding like a malaria shot. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. Really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, big fan of the series. Excited to play this one more than anything.
Tito says, I think I prefer it without its face. Talking to Bib. Nice.
Oh, man.
Madge says, Far Cry 6 apparently was leaked earlier. Shame. I'm slightly interested in Far Cry for the first time since Far Cry 2. Chapter says, looks like a fun game. I have a small issue with Ubisoft's games, though, where they're basically the same game. Which is what Tito, I think, said. Yeah, there you go. Asim said The Mandalorian. Nice. They all have a gorgeous open world, and the gameplay is go to base, destroy base, flee. I mean, this didn't show you anything about the game in essence, but obviously it's a Far Cry game, so you kind of know what to expect in that sort of sense. But it's a really good trailer in itself in terms of Ubisoft are good at telling stories, particularly in the trailers. Not as much in the games if you got to go to a base, destroy the base, and flee all the time. But if you haven't seen the trailer for the Far Cry 6 game that was released yesterday, it's good, and I think the fact that it has the likes of Giancarlo Esposito in it, and apparently the kid on the asset. Let me bring it back on screen. There we go. The kid is from Coco as well, which is also a ridiculously good film. If you're into animated films, check out Coco. It's really good. But yeah, it's basically Giancarlo Esposito, without any real spoilers of it, is, I assume, a person of power in this fictional world of Yara. And the dialogue between him and the kid is quite moving, nice, powerful sort of dialogue. Doesn't really give you that much insight into what's going to be happening in the game, but it's a good 6-minute trailer, maybe more. So yeah, definitely worth a watch if you got. It's nothing personal, baby. You're a City fan. I lie. It is personal.
Cheers, Tino. Love you too, mate.
Okay, we now have come to the end of that. So those are the games that were featured in. Let's go back to the split screen now. Because it's back actually. So those are games that were featured in. So let's roll back through them again. Just Dance to begin. The Crew 2 gets extra content, as does Trials Rising and Ghost Recon. Then we went into Watch Dogs Legion, a first look at Watch Dogs Legion, and being able to take over the entire population of London. We then moved into Brawlhalla, getting mobile content and full crossplay, more on the mobile side of things with Tom Clancy's Elite Squad as well. Then we jump into Hyperscape. There we go. Which is now coming to open beta. Is now in open beta, so anyone can play it rather than just those that have had Twitch drops. We then went into the bigger stuff of Assassin's Creed Valhalla with a full gameplay overview following the actual broadcast, and Far Cry 6 got its first confirmed and official released information, not just leaked information. So that was the content from the Ubisoft Forward roundup. So now we have the decision of we are over our allotted time. Do we wrap things up and do we move the content from today into tomorrow's show?
I'd say so, yeah, because I mean, this is kind of like the fallout. Well, it's not the fallout; it's the fallout from the Ubisoft Forward conference.
It's a different game. This is Far Cry, mate.
Yeah, I think this will be a good place to stop this one. If I'm being honest, we've advertised it as this is going to be the Fallout show, and that's exactly what we've done. How long have we been going for with this one now?
We're
Like an hour and 18
minutes.
minutes. That's like usually well over our normal one. So yeah, I think today is just going to be for this one. We can move the other ones into tomorrow. I mean, all that it's going to be over the next couple of days is just more and more articles about what Ubisoft are going to be doing anyway. So yeah.
Okay, we will wrap things up then. We have a few extra articles from around the world of video games. We'll move those into tomorrow's show. And we'll also throw in some PES 2021 rumour mill stuff as well, seeing as there's been a few requests of that earlier on in the stream. But we will jump into more PES content before then, so stick around. We're going to go offline and come back online with Masters of the League, episode 25. The January transfer special. Not only is it the January transfer window, so we can add new recruits to Ice Cream Uploads FC, but we also have an FA Cup game in that show as well. So yeah, it's all exciting. God damn it. So anyway, we're going to wrap things up. Feel free to stick around. Linger in the channel or just hit follow now and you'll get notified when we do go live if you have to drop off. But we'll be back almost imminently, well, as long as it takes to grab a brew, with more Masters of the League content. But before we do disappear and get set for Masters of the League, baby, is there anything you want to throw in?
Yes, I did have chatbot open, but now I'm going to have to reopen it again. So I have to restart my PC. So if you do see any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do feel free to get in contact with us. I did see, I think it was Chappers that popped something in for the scoop over the weekend. Yes, it was. It was for UFC and about PES. Obviously, we will include that in tomorrow's show. I just couldn't put it in this one due to the nature of this one. It was a Fallout conference. Fallout from the conference that happened over the weekend. So we will look to include that one, Chappers. Thank you very much for doing so. But like Chappers did, if you do have any more stories that you want to put into our show tomorrow, then do feel free to get in contact with us at Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything on social media, as well as our Discord. There is an area in there for you to be able to drop in your news stories and your thoughts and opinions. We'll take your thoughts and opinions and give our thoughts and opinions. And the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m.
Ish.
We did actually have the article that Chapper sent over ready to go. That was the next tab to open. But we'll stop things at Ubisoft Forward today, as Bib said. We always do. Love you guys getting involved and helping us cover the news. So feel free to do that. All the links are now in the chat that Bib's mentioned, socials and Discord. Feel free to use those and feel free to linger in the chat. We'll be back in 10 minutes-ish. We've got to get the green screen and everything ready for Masters of the League. So yeah, until then, if we don't see you live here for Masters of the League, have yourselves a fantastic day. And stay frosty.